why people are so attached to the results. Because Bhagavad-gītā discuss about this. And this is a very important skill for an authentic leader to be developed.
Well, one reason we could talk about is that, so we live in, why are people attached to the results? Because we live in a competitive world, and quite often the world's judgment is based on results. It focuses on, the world doesn't see the internal character of a person. The world doesn't even see the talent of a person. The world sees, okay, what have you achieved till now? What have you got? So this we could say, because the world judges us by that. So that's why it's natural for us to, in one sense, get attached to the results. Now, another reason, that's one reason. And we could say this is something which we can't change. We live in a competitive world, and we just are going to be judged by the results. But another reason is that sometimes we invest too much in every single activity. It's like we try to treat every activity as if we treat it almost like we equate every activity as if my life depends on it. We treat life like a 100-meter sprint, that if this doesn't work out, I'm ruined. But life is more like a 100-mile marathon. And even if we fall back in one particular place, things don't work out in one particular place, it doesn't matter so much. So I'd say that there are 3 ways in which we can look at situations where the results don't go our way. One is, I have lost. Okay, I tried this, it didn't work out. This is a fairly realistic assessment. We still feel bad, but okay, I have lost. That's acceptable. But beyond that, I am lost. That is even worse, because I don't know what to do. I have lost means I tried this, it didn't work, but maybe I'll try again. So, but the worst is, I am a loser. When we start thinking that, this is the place where depression grips a person. This is where a person can even go further down to become suicidal. And leadership is a high-stake game. And this is where...
Yeah. And this is because our world has developed a kind of society of separation, of fragmentation. I mean, this is a society of ego, where there is a separation between what we really are and what we try to be. Okay, this is the very problem of this society, and Bhagavad-gītā is a kind of perfect manual in order to help people to find what they really are, in order to avoid such way to go to depression. In fact, depression today in our world is one of the most important pathological problem of the society. And this is why there is this problem of separation, of fragmentation.
Yes, this is what, I was talking about this 𝙬𝙬. The E is education.
Education.
So L is wanting to learn, but E is the leader should not only be educated, but also should be able to educate others. And here, I'd like to differentiate between 2 forms of education. There is the education, what we can say, the education of skill, and there's the education of will. So skill is in terms of our abilities. What can I do? I learned this skill, I learned that skill. But will, I'm not using will only in terms of willpower. I have a strong willpower. But will is more about understanding ourselves fully. Okay, where does my willpower come from? It is more about holistic understanding. Like I earlier talked about seeing life to be either a 100-meter sprint or a 100-mile marathon. So our will be strong when we have a holistic understanding. And that
Yeah.
holistic understanding is that, Gita says that existence is at 3 levels. There's physical, mental, and spiritual. Now, the physical, mental, and spiritual. We have our bodily side, the outer world. Now, at the physical level, there are going to be ups and downs. When the best of leaders, they'll have sometimes successes, they'll have sometimes failures. Now, corresponding to that, at the mental level, also ups and downs will be there. Now, in some people, these ups and downs become far bigger than what they were outside. That means every small problem becomes a big problem for them. Like that. Or alternatively, if a leader is strong, then the outer things don't affect so much. They become steady. And this steadiness, the steadiness of the will comes when we are situated in our spirituality. So the spiritual domain is unchanging. It is secure. Spiritually, each one of us is invincible. We are invulnerable. We are indestructible. So to the extent we understand our spirituality, to that extent, we can be less affected by life's ups and downs.
Yeah.
So this is just what this grit, resilience, these are very important qualities for a leader. And they come by situating ourselves in our spirituality.